Alfie Solomons isn't just a gangster, he's a master of psychological warfare. In Peaky Blinders, where power is often seized with violence, Alfie wins with something more subtle and far more dangerous: sarcasm. Whether he's manipulating, mocking, or just trying to stay alive, his dry, cutting wit is always doing more than it seems. Today I'm going to break down the top 5 moments Alfie Solomons used sarcasm as a weapon, and how it helped him control the conversation. At number 5, we have Tommy and Alfie's first meeting in Season 2, Episode 2. Alfie doesn't just jump straight into business during his sit down with Tommy. Instead, he goes through a strange mix of religious commentary, bakery logistics, war stories, and almost mocks formality. This wasn't necessarily a small talk, it was a power move. Alfie tested how far he could push Tommy, and almost used his sarcasm to antagonise him. He sets the pacing of the meeting, showing that he won't be intimidated and that he's in control. Alfie gauges how much rope he can pull, and uses the act on being unpredictable as a negotiating tool. Unfortunately for him, Tommy is very patient, so he went along with Alfie's sarcasm. At number 4, we have him reclaiming his myth after surviving death in Season 5, Episode 6. Alfie returns in Season 5 alive but wounded after Tommy shot him in his face in Season 4. He greets Tommy with dry, mocking wit, minimising the seriousness of his injuries and mocking the myths of his death. I think Alfie does this to break down the seriousness of the situation. At the last time they met, Tommy actually tried to kill him and shoot him in the face. He could also be doing this to cover up shame at the fact that he feels almost embarrassed that Tommy shot him, and he's making light heart of his injuries that even though they're serious, he almost treats them like a joke. Point 3 is downplaying the violence against Arthur. After ambushing Arthur Shelby and knocking him unconscious, Alfie brushes off the event entirely when they next meet in Season 3. Alfie apologises to Arthur in a very sarcastic tone and makes light of the situation. This not only antagonises Arthur, but then Alfie continues to push him by making sarcastic comments about his religion. I think he's doing 2 things here. One, he's definitely trying to wind Arthur up to see what Arthur would potentially do, but he's also trying to make a light heart of the situation, as Alfie had become allies with the Shelbys again. He uses his wit to turn an act of aggression into something almost laughable, which definitely set the tone to the room. By doing this, he avoids escalation and maintains control of the room, forcing others to either laugh or back down. Point 2, when he was facing death from Tommy Shelby. After betraying Tommy Shelby by siding with Luca, Alfie is confronted on the beach. He was dying of cancer and completely exposed to Tommy shooting him. But rather than panic, he responds to everything Tommy says with sarcasm. He talks about his illness, morality, and the business situation at hand of why he betrayed Tommy. He uses sarcasm here to stall Tommy and slow down the entire moment. Instead of greeting Tommy with emotion and rage, Alfie tries to control the room and takes the tension out of the fact that Tommy was about to kill him. This was a perfect example of how sarcasm can help reshape confrontation, and he did this in his last moment to try and escape death and stall Tommy before he even tried to kill Tommy himself. And point 1 is when he met Luca and the Mafia. When Luca travels to London to make a deal with Alfie Solomons, Luca's expecting either fear or loyalty from Alfie, but all he gets was dry sarcasm from him. Alfie welcomes him in like a guest at dinner time, and when Luca enters the room in traditional mob style, armed with a bunch of people, Alfie doesn't even open his eyes. Alfie plays the role of a polite host but uses sarcasm to test Luca's intelligence and patience. His compliments feel exaggerated and ironic, and his tone makes it unclear whether he's praising or insulting him, and it keeps Luca off balance throughout the conversation. Alfie knows he's dealing with a dangerous outsider, but instead of showing him intimidation, he uses his sarcasm to keep him at emotional distance and try and maintain some power. While Luca sees himself as a threat, Alfie's sarcasm quietly flips that dynamic. It treats Luca like an actor playing a gangster, which was a subtle insult towards him. Luca couldn't fully read Alfie, which makes the meeting more uncomfortable for him. That unpredictability makes Alfie dangerous in a completely different way, and one that doesn't rely on muscle or gunfire. While mocking Luca without ever directly doing it, he keeps control of the conversation while also appearing harmless. Alfie doesn't need to shout or threaten. His power lies in how he speaks, layered, indirect, and always a step ahead. Sarcasm for him is more than humour, it's control, misdirection, and survival. I'd go as far as saying Alfie's actually mastered sarcasm and uses it as a weapon to achieve exactly what he wants out of a conversation.